There we go. All right, all right. How's it going? How's it going, everybody? This is a random real life real estate investing show. We are actually here at the Andrew Gervey Law Office, where we're actually part of an event that they're hosting a real estate investing event. So if you're anywhere near Atlanta, stop by 1934 North Druid Hills. Andrew Gervey Law is where we're actually now streaming live from. And my co-host tonight is Lorraine Beato. I can't tell you it's so much I can tell you about her. She has an extensive resume in real estate and being a broker and doing a whole bunch of stuff. And listen, I have to be careful. Like when I do my introductions, and I know how long people have been doing real estate, especially the women, and I know the years that they've been doing real estate were probably when I was back in diapers. I don't want to say their age because if I say how long you've been doing, I'm probably giving your age. So I'll let you tell the people how long you've been doing
it. There's a reason everybody calls me Mama Bear.
Right.
A long time. I've actually been licensed over 30 years. So.
Wow. 30 years. So we hadn't really thought of an ideal topic or specific topic of discussion. We're going to have a few people popping in and out. We're going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about financing, lending, being a broker, being an agent, being an investor, everything. We're going to talk to some appraisers. We're going to talk to some inspectors.
Not inspections, appraisals.
Appraisals, right. I know that was one of the things you did. We're going to talk to a number of different people about a number of different things. But let's talk about probably the thing that's on a lot of people's minds right now that I know that you are very, very familiar with and that you keep your finger on the pulse of. Before I say that, before we get into that, I want to talk about the Wired event that you just hosted this past weekend. We'll definitely get into that. So listen, hang tight, folks. We're going to do a quick introduction or a quick, promo, quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. And again, welcome to the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. I'm your host, Glenn Glasper, affectionately known as Mr. Dollar Out of a Dime. And my lovely co-host is Miss Lorraine Beato. As we talked about earlier, she has a ton of experience, a lot of experience, many years. So she's very seasoned. This is the word that I learned to use. So let's talk about what's probably on most people's minds in the real estate world today. What's going on with our market? Should people start investing now if they haven't started already?
Look, you gotta get started at some point in time. A lot of people waiting for the market to crash.
Yeah.
The market's not gonna crash. I don't see the market crashing. Actually, somebody did a really cute video on Instagram yesterday where they said, okay, interest rates at 7%. There's one person down the road. Interest rates at 6%. There's two people running down the road. Interest rates at 5%. There's now 6 people running down the road because, interest rates are going to go down if they go down, and you're going to have more competition in the market, which in turn is going to drive prices up. And we are still in a very low market inventory in Metro Atlanta. We have about 2 months worth of inventory. Our prices are still going up. We've seen some price reductions, yes, but for the most part, overall, as of the end of May, our prices are still going up.
Wow. So let's talk about that. And I'm not sure, some people may watch and they're probably not familiar with the amount of inventory. When we only have 2 months of inventory, what does that mean?
So it means we are still in the seller's market. So a balanced market is 6 months of inventory. That means your level of buyers and sellers are pretty much even. You go over 6 months, you're in a buyer's market. you're under 6 months, you're in a seller's market. And right now, across FMLS, which is our main MLS here in Metro Atlanta, we have 2 months worth of inventory.
2 months worth of inventory. So that means, does that mean, and I want to kind of set the stage for some people who may be a little confused about what that means. Some people think that they can get any price they want for their house. Is that true?
No, those days are over. That was more 2021 and 2020, and so we are seeing, a little bit longer days on market. Things aren't maybe going in 24 hours, but they're still going quickly. If I recall the stats, and I would have pulled them had I thought about it. I think our average days on market right now are somewhere around 14 days. So that's still pretty darn quick. I mean, I remember when it took 6 months to sell a house.
Right.
A house sitting on the market for 6 months, if we sold it in 5, oh my God, that was great.
Absolutely.
And rates have gone up a little bit. Almost doubled at this point. So more than a little bit, but they're back to more of where normalcy is.
Yes.
Seeing interest rates at 3 or below 3% or 3.5% were unheard of.
Right.
For the most part, you're normal, not normal, I don't want to say the word normal, but people were more used to interest rates being around 5.5%.
Yes.
Even hitting 6. I mean, we topped out at 7, we're back around 6.25%, which is still great. I bought my first house, I was 24, my interest rate was 8.5%.
Wow. So I bought my first house, I think my interest rate was about 13%.
There you go. But you did it. You found a way to do it.
I found a way to do it. And I mean, ignorance played a major part in that too. I didn't know what I didn't know at the time. And even then, for me, having the experience to be able to buy a house when I didn't think I would be able to was still a good experience for me. So I get it. Like, some people want to have what they believe is the lowest interest rate. However, if you are in a position to buy, I believe people should buy.
And people should buy, especially in Metro Atlanta. I just had this conversation with a client a week ago who is getting relocated to Brazil for 2 years. And he's debating on, do I sell the house? Do I sell the house and buy something else? Do I keep the house? What do I do? And I told him I don't see prices in Atlanta coming down. I mean, will there be a slight market shift? Maybe, who knows? If I had a crystal ball, like be a multi-millionaire.
Right. I know.
But there are so many people still moving to Atlanta. We're the Sun Belt. We have a lot of tech. We have a lot of doctors, a lot of medical. A lot of buyers are still coming in from the California, Chicago, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, where we're still very affordable in that.
Absolutely.
Right? Which you can buy here for $500,000, is $1 million in New York.
Definitely.
Originally from New York. So when my niece is a realtor up there, we kind of look at, what can you get down here compared to what can you get there, and it's twice the size.
Right. So many people think, when you mentioned the comment about if you had a crystal ball, there are so many people who do not have 3 decades of experience of real estate investing, still have this idea that they're going to wait until the market crashes before they buy. You just mentioned that the market is not going to crash. What do you say to the person that still has this idea that they're going to wait to buy either an investment property or their first home? Well, what do you say to that person that's still having that idea?
So I'm a data-driven person,
and
I will pull out the data and the graphs and show the market trends. Here in Metro Atlanta, what has happened? Prices did go up a little bit. They did come down a little bit. They're right back up again. And so I take emotion out of it.
Absolutely.
And it's like, here's the numbers, here are the trends, and here's what's happening. It's just like when you see, these articles and they're like, oh my gosh, foreclosures were up 100%. We had a moratorium for 2 years. There were no foreclosures for 2 years.
Right.
So are they up 100%?
Absolutely. So if there's one foreclosure,
right, exactly.
It's up 100%.
Exactly. So it's looking at the numbers and the data. What are the trends? How long have they been out? What is it a reference to? Who's interpreting the data?
Right.
And then, to make an informed decision. It's very important to make an informed decision. And, at the end of the day, I have people that have gotten priced out of the market because they waited too long. They started in 2020. Didn't expect, no one expected the market to do what it did during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
And go through the roof. And they got priced out. And they kept waiting and waiting. No, it's good. Crash. And now they can't afford it. Now that $200,000 house from 2 years ago is $400,000.
$400,000. Yes. So you said to make an informed decision. So I'm a new person. I made some money on my job. I'm excited. My credit's better. I'm ready to buy a house. My credit's better. Not the greatest, but it's better. Got a little money, not a whole lot, but a little. Um, I make $50,000. Okay, I'll be a little more. So for Metro Atlanta, we'll say $75,000. It's more median, I guess, income around there. Um, with all those factors in place, am I in a position to buy a $300,000 house, or should I be more um, to scale back and look at something more in the 200s?
So that's a loaded question.
I know. I listen. The skills that I've learned as an interviewer is to load the questions.
So I can't answer that question because do you have a car payment? Do you have student
All of
loans?
that plays a major factor. Yes.
What's your debt to income ratios?
Yes. Yes.
Your front end ratios, your back end ratios, and all of that stuff. So
Mhm.
I can't properly answer that question.
Right.
But I also all my clients, I've always told them to try not to buy at the top of their budget.
Yes. Yes.
Because you want some breathing room. You don't want to be so tight that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make this payment.
Right.
And so I've always, when people tell me my back's budget is 400 or 450, especially first time home buyer, if they haven't gone through this before,
Mm-hmm.
let's see if we can get you something to meet your needs that's under your budget.
Got it. So let me tell you why I loaded the question that way. There's a method to my madness.
Okay.
So, because of a lot of those things that you mentioned are factors that a lot of people don't factor in. They figure I make a lot of money. I have decent enough credit. They're not factoring in the other bills, the other debt, all those things that come into place. So in their mind, they're still thinking that I'm a good candidate for the house that I want, which has to be $400,000. Right now, you and I know it doesn't have to be $400,000, and especially if it's your first house, you can scale back a little bit, live in it for a couple years, then go on to what you want. Um, so to set, and then I think we had this. I think we said this. Who was I talking? I was talking about. I was talking to someone else about setting realistic expectations for people. I think a lot of that has been missed, in when people hear interest rates have gone up, and the first thought for the person who doesn't have the knowledge and the experience is that interest rates have gone up. I'm gonna wait till they come back down, or the market's gonna crash. I'm gonna wait till it crashes and then I'm gonna buy. And they don't have the data that you have. They don't have the data that you have the access to. And they're not having the conversations with the right people to get enough of the data. And they go on the emotions and they go on the news.
Forget the news. Just don't watch the news.
Right. So this is where they're getting their information, no data, their information from, and they're making uninformed decisions based on what is being said in the media and different places like that. So in your opinion, what would be the steps that someone should take to prepare themselves, even with all of the different factors in place? What are the steps that they should take to prepare themselves to get the house that they can truly afford? What would you say?
So yeah, your very first step is either talk to a mortgage person, talk to a loan officer if you know one. If you don't, find a real estate agent. All of us, to my knowledge, at least I do, have our preferred lenders that we work with, our preferred mortgage people that we work with, and then start there to see what can you actually afford.
Right.
And I personally won't take someone out to go look at houses until I know what we can afford, because I'm not going to show you a $500,000 house and you fall in love with it and then you can't buy it.
Absolutely.
I won't do it.
Absolutely.
I don't care if that's what you want to do. Then go find someone else, because I don't want to be the person that disappoints you in that way and have your whole world basically come crashing down because you're like, oh my God, this is the home of my dreams, but you can't afford it yet.
Right. And you said something that's very important. A lot of people's idea when purchasing a house, the first step is to contact a real estate agent. Now, of course, the real estate agent has all of the pieces in place to make that work. But you mentioned that they should contact a mortgage person. Do you recommend they contact a mortgage person first, or do they go to the real estate agent that will refer them to the mortgage person?
Whichever. I mean, it's what came first, the chicken or the egg,
Right.
right? It's whichever one. I mean, a lot of people know realtors, so they might start with your realtor. Some
Right.
people may know a loan officer and not know a realtor. So start with someone you know,
Yes.
or a referral that you can get from someone you trust.
Absolutely. It's very important. I mean, because a lot of times when people are dealing with, and we're in Atlanta. I mean, you can throw a rock and find a real estate agent, a realtor. um, hello there. How are you?
You guys are live. I just heard them say, "Oh, there's Lorraine."
Right. We'll welcome in in a little bit. I mean, like I said, in Metro Atlanta, you can throw a rock and find a real estate agent, an investor, a mortgage person, those people. So that's very good information. And I think that, and this is me, I'm not a real estate agent and I don't play one on TV, but I think for the person that's not knowledgeable, that doesn't have the knowledge and or possibly experience about the buying process, I think the realtor is it should be probably their first point of contact. I mean, of course, you can tell me if I'm wrong in this area, because if they go to a mortgage person and the mortgage person, I'm trying to use the politically correct way of saying this, but I'm gonna say how it is. Their mortgage person doesn't mesh well with the real estate agent, and a lot of things can fall apart in the transaction. I've seen it happen so many times. Like you mentioned, having the realtor has a preferred person that they work with on a regular basis. It would probably be in the best interest to work with a real estate person, a real estate agent, or realtor, to then get recommended to the mortgage person. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's generally my folks when they come to me, they have not yet spoken with a mortgage person.
Got it.
99 times out of 100, people are online, they're looking at houses, they found a house, they like to contact the realtor, they haven't even thought about the financing.
Absolutely.
I think there's a handful of people that came to me that had already been pre-approved with their bank, where they bank.
Okay.
These were already people that they had bought and sold multiple homes.
Absolutely.
And still at the end of the day, as far as banks go, just be careful, because for the most part, you're dealing with a Chase or Wells Fargo or Bank of America. Most of us realtors don't lend.
Right.
It's a laborious process.
Yes.
You can't get anything done. You're transferred from this 800 number to that 800 number.
Yes.
And the other thing I would say is make sure that the lender that you're working with is local. It's local to your market. It's local to your area. I had a closing a couple of years ago. It was a Friday. It was 5:30 in the afternoon. We're sitting at the closing table, and I had to sell it. And funds weren't wired. And the lender was out in Wisconsin or somewhere weird. So they were still open for business, and we were closed.
Wow.
Right? And so they're thinking everything's good. We couldn't get a hold of anybody. We sat at the closing attorney's office until almost 8 o'clock at night.
Wow.
Still couldn't get it done because they didn't have enough certified funds. The buyers.
Yeah.
And they had already sold their house that morning. So their stuff sat on a truck the whole weekend.
Oh my goodness.
They had to go to a hotel with 3 little ones.
Wow.
Because we hadn't closed. So they could not take possession. They had not closed on the property.
And they couldn't go back to the bank because it was closed.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow.
So that is my one big thing, close with someone locally. And a lot of people use what's the big Rocket Mortgage. Lending Tree or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just hard because you can't control that.
Absolutely.
You can't call them on their cell phones. They have got a problem.
Right. You don't have the personable person or a personal relationship with someone that you can have a communication with. Yeah, I've seen that too many times. As a matter of fact, it's funny you mentioned a story like that. When I was buying my house, my wife and I, we were at the closing table, and because I'm self-employed and I gifted her money to buy the house, they wanted a CPA letter from my CPA to be sure the funds that I gave her wouldn't affect my business. Exactly. And then there was so much of that. And then the other thing too is because we don't have the same last names, so we're at the closing table, and the real estate agent, giving us a bottle of champagne, giving us the keys, and congratulated us and everything. The closing attorney came back and was like, "Yeah, we can't close." It's like, wait, what? They wanted to know where I got the money to give to her.
They wanted to see the CC.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought we did this part already, but so I had to get my bank statement and send it over to them again because we did it already. Send my bank statements to them and show them that, and the thing was, the money came from the business into her personal account. So because the funds were given to her from the business, they were like, well, why aren't you giving them to her directly as opposed to them coming directly from the business? That part I didn't know. I'm like, we need the money to close. This is where the money is. This is where the money is. This is where it needs to go. All of that. Yeah. Yes. So in that situation, I didn't know, and I thought the CPA letter would have taken care of that. But we finally worked it out and we were able to close. But I was like, it was, and my wife was pregnant at the time, and so it was like a whole stressful situation. I'm like, but we made it through. But and these are the things that I often have conversations about with people who are getting into real estate. Like these are the things when they say, "Oh, just buy a house," or even investors from an investing standpoint, "Oh, get into real estate, buy real estate." One guy I was actually just talking to was like, they don't tell you about the closing process, all of the documentation. And yeah, it sounds great to be a real estate investor, but there's a process to all of it. And it's real life real estate investing.
It really is.
Exactly. So I'm glad that you're sharing the information that you're sharing in terms of the mechanics of how a transaction could come together, because a lot of people want to buy, and their first thought when they hear interest rates are going up, they shut down because that sounds like something technical that would prevent them from being able to buy. They just have to buy smarter. Is the only thing.
I have to buy smarter, or your daily Starbucks run could help.
Absolutely.
Right, and how bad do you want it?
Right. That's the thing.
That's the other thing. You can strategize and okay, what are you spending your money on? You can maybe eliminate it.
Yes.
That can help you feel more comfortable with whatever that money is.
Right. So from an investing standpoint, we got to go back. We didn't talk about Wired.
No.
We didn't talk about Wired. So let's talk about Wired, and let's talk about the event. So this will be. Can this count as my testimonial video?
Sure. But you gotta cut the video. And you gotta give me the video. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
I said, I know I got to do this video. So this will be my testimonial video. But I want you to share with the folks what Wired is, what was the event about, and what can someone expect to coming to a Wired event like the one you hosted.
Sure. So I started Wired, which is Women Investing in Real Estate Dominate, last September. I had run a different organization prior to the pandemic. I had opened the first chapter on the East Coast, and then pandemic hit. We weren't meeting in person anymore, and we just decided, to just not have chapters anymore. They are still meeting. However, they're also on the West Coast, and so the 3-hour difference was not working for my business. And last summer, a lot of those women from that I met through that organization were reaching out because they had friends that had invested in Atlanta, got into trouble. If you're going to invest long distance, this is the other thing, you need to have this on the ground wherever you are.
Yes.
And they said, great, we're going to have, we're going to tell my friend so-and-so to, join your chapter. And I said, well, it doesn't really exist anymore. So that kind of got me thinking. And I was like, I'm going to start my own group. And started Wired. And it took me a little bit because I'm like, Wired. No, I need something else. So the Dominate came to me at like 3 in the morning. We started in September, had a great first meeting because as someone said, I attended a fund live stream to create a fund a couple of weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And there was a female multifamily investor on there who said 31% of investors are women.
Wow.
We're not even 50%. We're 31%.
Wow.
And so I
Wow.
think that there is, a hole in the investing space. And I have been at several masterminds over the last 2 years, high-level masterminds that were expensive to get into the room. And I found myself being the only female in the room.
Interesting.
Right down to, what was I at? I was on a podcast yesterday. No flipping excuses. And I got on and did the podcast, and I brought up Wired, and I talked about women investors, and he said, "You're the first female and the only female we've had on the podcast."
Interesting. Wow.
So I think there's a hole. I am very used to being the only female in the room. I started working on Wall Street in, what year is it? 1985, and I was the only female on the mortgage-backed securities trading floor for Merrill Lynch. So I am used to it.
Wow. I won't say that I was 12. That's okay.
And so we've had a couple of meetings. They went well. I decided I wanted to do a boot camp. Got all the speakers lined up, and I wanted to talk about alternative assets that people can invest in.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the boot camp on Saturday. It went really well, except for the no air conditioning in the room.
That was about the only thing. Yeah.
We couldn't control that one. But it was, planning for the pivot. What are you going to do if the market shifts? What are you going to pivot into?
Yes.
And we had some amazing speakers. We learned about tax lien investing. We learned about being the bank, investing in mortgage notes.
Right.
We had someone come and teach us all about tech. As you know, tech is not my thing. And I want to thank Glenn for being my videographer for the day and helping me with Zoom and everything else. And we had a great, tax CPA.
Oh my goodness!
It was amazing. I think he got a bunch of new clients in the room.
But listen,
We live down the street from him.
I live down the street from him, and he did an absolutely amazing job.
And I was truly blessed because he drove in from vacation that day.
Oh wow!
That morning.
Wow.
To then come speak at the event. And
shout out to Roger. Shout out to Roger.
Roger Herring.
Shout out to Roger Herring. You did a great job.
Great personality.
Yes.
And,
yes. He has a straightforward personality. Something in the business that he's in, especially that we're in, it's necessary for us. It's so necessary for us.
And I'm glad that he's a student of Mark Kohler. I've been following Mark Kohler for several years.
Oh, really? Okay,
good. A couple years ago. And just how you don't want to pay Uncle Sam's for your wife.
Right.
Aunt Iris.
And
talk about, setting up self-directed accounts and how, as an entrepreneur or solopreneur, how can you create up your retirement accounts? How can you use those retirement accounts and things to ban an IRA on, how you can do that, how you can either defer taxes or not pay taxes. Because I think one of the big things flippers forget is you made all that profit.
Yes.
But you got to pay them something.
Yes.
And
yes.
And then we had another special guest here from Birmingham to talk about tiny homes, tiny home construction, modular builds. And so that afterwards led into a conversation about buying land through tax liens, putting modular homes on that.
Wow.
And getting into development. And also had a couple of private lenders in the room. So it was a good, solid meeting.
A great, solid meeting.
Thank you. A great, solid meeting. And I've had people already asking, when's the next one coming up?
Yes.
And, Wired is on Meetup under Wired. And you can join the Meetup group. It's also a Facebook group. You don't have to be a woman, but that is my focus. So if you get an email that says you can join us with crazy hair, I understand the avatar, but I'm really excited because I'm really passionate about it. And some of those people have already connected. They're already starting to do business together.
Great stuff.
And at the end of the day, that is my goal. How can we all get together?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to congratulate you again on a successful event. Like I said, in spite of the heat, it worked out. Yeah.
The doors open.
It was a great event. The information, and I'm like I said, I've been in real estate for quite some time. I'm always primarily a student. I always tell people I'm a student before anything as it relates to this business. And I learned a lot that day. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be there, even though you had me working.
She did ask some questions, and we got some free legal advice from the closing attorney.
Yes.
Do you need a trust? Do you not need a trust?
Oh, she gave some phenomenal advice as well. Yes. Like I said, it was all great information. The speakers did very well. And it's always great to see people be passionate about this business that we're in. Even with all the ups and downs and things that we experience in the business, it's still good to see people that have a passion, not just for doing the business, but as much of a passion for helping people get started in the business. Um, the guy I want to say Evan.
Okay,
Evan, he came in, and that was another thing that I want to point out that was great about your event, that nobody pitched anything,
Yeah.
right? Nobody pitched anything. It was genuinely an event for people to come and share information and give the knowledge. The value is what far more exceeded the investment people would have made to come to the event. So it was a significant value. Nobody pitched anything. Of course, if they gave some great enough information, you should want to work with the people who have the information. But it was not I'm going to give you a little bit and come back and get the rest later. Like Roger was going on and on and on. Roger ran out of time.
And then it
Give,
kept going.
right. He went overtime, giving and giving and giving, and those are the type of people that you want to be able to have come and share at an event like that. And again, so I want to congratulate you for having the mind to put that together. People put together events all the time, but when you get people that in the room that give good, solid information that you can go. I mean, I've had a tax person forever. When he said some of the stuff he was saying, I was like, I need to reevaluate my life. Like, am I doing this right? Um, but that's a good thing to be able to still have the knowledge and understanding that you can always go to another level, right? Even though you get comfortable at one level, to get to where you want to be or where you probably should be, at least for me, you should definitely learn from people who are doing on another level. Like he's talking about stuff that, I was like, wait a minute, maybe that's the next level of millionairehood is to get beyond paying Uncle Sam and Aunt Iris.
Right, exactly.
So again, thank you for the opportunity for being there to be there. And I listen, I was joking. I don't care if I had to come and sweep the floor. I am grateful to have the opportunity to have been in the room. So thank you again for allowing me to be there.
You're so welcome. And that was very important to me. Aside from Evan, I have known all the speakers, some of them for as long as 10 years.
Wow.
I've done
Wow.
business with them.
Yes.
I've built relationships with them. And someone texted me today about Cabana. They're like, what do you think about them? And I said, we've had our retirement accounts with them since 2013.
Wow.
I wouldn't be
Wow.
somewhere for 10 years if they weren't doing the right thing, if I wasn't comfortable with them doing the right thing.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Jasmine was phenomenal.
Jasmine was supposed to fly, and that was the other thing. Jasmine was supposed to fly in. She's the note lady,
Yes.
note assistance program. She
Yes.
said she busted out two of her knees acting like a 25-year-old. And we actually met when I was running that other group. She flew in to speak at one of my events, and we just stayed in touch. And
Great stuff.
Great stuff. Just can't be on the plane for 7 hours at this point. But
Yeah.
she's another, great person. All of them. I mean, everybody. And I had never met Evan.
But that's a testament to who you are, your character, and your giving spirit. When you can get some people that'll fly across country to come and help you do what you do and let's serve people, it's a testament of your character. So again, thank you. And I am grateful to have a relationship with my big little sister.
Yes.
And again, listen, I can't wait for the next event. So when's the next event? We're gonna put you on the spot right here.
I don't
It's
know.
going down.
Listen,
the event is going to happen
in the fall.
August. We'll say September
Sometime after kids get
20,
in school.
23rd. I don't even know what day that is.
Back from vacation, get kids in school.
Let's see. Somebody tell me. It's September 23rd is Saturday. We're gonna make it. We're gonna just set the date here.
We're gonna set the date. Whatever that Saturday is in September, we'll go with it.
Like all the pressure is there.
No problem.
But no, you don't have to do it alone. So you gotta take on the pressure alone. So it'll be much simpler this time.
Now that I have a technology person on.
Oh yes. And again, that's another thing to still go on with the event in the midst of what you thought was a little bit of pressure. And it all still came together. You're gonna have technical difficulties. Like even doing this show, I've been doing the show for 7 years. And if I let the technical difficulties stop me from doing it, I'd have gave up on this a long time ago. I probably have one every other week in just learning, because there's so many things I'm still learning about the technology and how to put it all together. I pressed the wrong button a lot of times.
I'm just afraid to disconnect your husband. That was my big thing.
But the show must go on.
It does, and it did, and I've had a lot of personal stuff in the last just month. And
Yes.
people are like, oh, maybe you should cancel. I'm like, I am not going to cancel this.
Right.
If I have one person in the room,
and listen,
I'm not going to cancel it.
What I learned from what my pastor said, he said that he learned that if you can't preach to the one like you would preach to the thousands, you're disqualified for the thousands. So even if one person shows up and you give them everything that you got, then you're qualified for the thousands.
Yes.
You know?
And thank you, because I will say to this man here, he's like, you're the host, you shouldn't be doing this. I'm like, I don't know how to not do it.
Right.
I don't know how to not do it. I know one speed.
Right.
Let's
go.
It just goes.
And you know, and it's good that maybe because I've hosted events, and I know what it's like to. I mean, even doing this show, I know what it's like to have to come and be the tech person, the mic person, the audio, the visual, and all of that. You have to do all of that. So I know what it's like to have to deal with all of that, and then sit down and still have the mind to get into a space of being able to share information and, you know, do what you do, which is what you're intended to do, is to do the greater thing that you intended to do, is share information. I know what it's like to have that kind of pressure. So I'm like, listen, you know, when you got millionaires that just walk in the room, bruh, bruh, no, you gotta come over here, man. We got a super special guest in the audience, Brother Co-Michael in the house, man. Shout out to you. Thank you for coming in. But no, when you have something like that, it's good to know that you have people that will support you in doing what you do. So you don't have to be the person that's all over the place doing all that. And it makes it run smoother. You know, you don't have to stress about, you know, if the tech's gonna work right or if the food is in the right place and all that. When you have to stress about that, you can give a whole lot more, a lot smoother. So listen, we're locked in. Whatever you need me to do. Like I said, I'll come and sweep the floor, or, you know, hold the door open so the air can come in. Move the plants. So, you know, that's and, you know, it's good that we support each other in doing stuff like that. So the next event is September, whatever Saturday it is. We're gonna put it out there. Let's see, we have. Oh, Rui says,
of course.
Yes, it is a Saturday.
That's right. It's actually a Sunday. The 23rd is Saturday.
Good stuff. So the 23rd is a Saturday.
The 23rd is Saturday.
Okay, so that's when it's happening. We're gonna put it on the calendar. So we'll probably take a break.
Yep, sounds good.
Take a break and we'll come back. Maybe we'll have someone come and sit in with us and share some information. But this has been great. I don't know if anyone else, if you all have any questions, you know, in our second session, if you want to tune in, you guys have any questions, go ahead, ask your questions. But we're going to have some guests come in and share some different information with us. Again, I want to mention that we're going to be talking to lenders, realtors, appraisers. I'm trying to think of all the people that are in the real estate business. There's so many different people. Yeah, inspectors, investors. Again, like we said, we had plumbers. Yeah, we had Co-Michael Johnson who came in. He's a developer. He's been doing it for quite a few years. So we'll hopefully get a chance to have a conversation with him. But yeah, if you're tuning in, you know, stick with us. We'll be back, and we look forward to sharing with you some more later on.